Hello, future Spartans and families. I am so glad you could join us for our virtual open house this evening. My name is Dr. Jim Coleman, and I'm the Provost and Executive Vice Chancellor here at UNC Greensboro. And that means I'm the Senior Academic Administrator overseeing all of our academic programs and instruction. And that's a big job considering we offer more than 125 undergraduate programs alone. No matter what you choose to study, my job is to make sure your educational experience at UNCG is second to none. We do that first by ensuring teaching excellence. I just joined UNCG in July, and I worked in several well-known universities before I came here. And I have been blown away with just how much our faculty really care about the success of UNCG students. And they're also very passionate about teaching, so you can count on getting direct instruction from the very best teachers around. Our faculty are also regularly recognized as leading scholars and artists in their fields. They make breakthroughs in many disciplines, ranging from biochemistry to history, or they receive accolades from audiences and readers in disciplines like theater, music, and creative writing. Our faculty are impressive, and you will get to know them. For example, as a UNCG student, you will have the opportunity to learn about biology from a NASA-funded scientist who has experiments out in space, or study musical theater under a successful Broadway composer. UNCG also excels beyond the classroom. Now, there's a network of faculty and staff here who will support your ambitions and will help you find your calling. After all, this is college, and there's no better time to try something new. So whether you decide to work in a neuroscience lab or spend a semester studying Spanish culture in Peru, or to do both, the truth is at UNCG is that you can do it. Learning here extends far beyond the classroom walls, and we are all here rooting for you and supporting you to chase your dreams. And finally, UNCG is a place where there's a fantastic support system for you if you just need a little extra help. And everyone, including me, needs some help sometimes. So whether it's tutoring or note-taking workshops or coaching for your speaking, helping students succeed in school and beyond is what we do here. And I am so proud of our legacy of providing a supportive and caring environment for every one of our students. And at the end of the day, no matter what you choose to study, you, the student, truly matter here at UNC Greensboro. After all, what's a university without its students? We wouldn't be here. So it is my great honor to serve you as provost by providing a meaningful and life-changing education. And I really can't wait to see where your college journey takes you. And I really hope you'll find a home here at UNCG.
Good afternoon, future Spartans and future Spartan families, and welcome to our fall virtual open house series. My name is Corinne, and I'm one of the admissions counselors here at UNC Greensboro, and I'm really excited to be here with you today. We have an awesome panel of pretty much professionals in everything in terms of our Bryan School of Business and Economics. And I'm really excited that they're here to kind of share more about their department and about their majors that they offer. I'm actually a Bryan School alum, so I'm a little biased in this department, but I really think that the Bryan School really provides an awesome education, and I hope that you get to learn a lot more about it. So I'm going to introduce my panelists in the order that I have them on my screen, so they'll share who they are and the department that they represent. So we're going to go ahead and start off with Dean Banks.
Hi, Corinne, and hello to the audience. Welcome. We're delighted that you joined us today to learn more about the Bryan School. I'm going to talk to you briefly about the Bryan School difference, and I want to start with this idea of being exceptional problem solvers. That that emphasis, that focus of the Bryan School came about in 2011 when we were talking to managers and executives of companies, and we were asking them what it was they wanted in people that they hired. We also asked them how they got where they are. And one of the interesting things that they kept coming back to was that they could solve problems better than other people. Well, when we looked at business school mission statements from schools around the state and around the universe, around the United States and around the world, we discovered that most business schools say we produce leaders, but really most companies don't come and say we want to hire a leader. They want to hire someone with leadership potential. And the question is, how do you get there? And these executives were telling us, exceptional problem solver. So we reframed our curricula right around this idea of being exceptional problem solvers. It's made a huge difference in what we're able to do to help our students get ahead once they graduate from the Bryan School. The other thing that these executives told us was that they wanted people that were that understood innovation, that understood globalization, that understand sustainability, and that understood ethics. And you see those in those four bubbles off on one side of the slide that we have. In addition to that, we also have we also learned from them that when they were talking about these things, they were saying that these were critical skills and knowledge areas that most people were not graduating with. And so we felt like that would make a big difference to the people that we graduate from the Bryan School. And so we built those into our curriculum as well. To make sure that our students understood the difference between theory and application and also could connect it back to practice, we implemented a number of hands-on consulting projects, and we have now virtually all of our students from the Bryan School that engage in these projects on a semester-long basis. For example, one of our students was talking about the impact of her hands-on consulting project in getting a job, and what she discovered was that when the executive asked her what she was able to do that put her into a situation that she was uncomfortable with, she talked about her consulting project and how she had to figure out how to market racing engine chemicals to companies in France. And he said, I'm not talking about something that's made up. And she said, I'm not talking about something that's made up either. This was a real company. They had a real product. They were looking to market it overseas. And what I knew about France at that time was where it was located. And I could say, parlez-vous français. In the end, she and her team members found the first client to buy these racing engine chemicals from this North Carolina manufacturing company. So it had real impact. The executive reached across the table and offered her the job along with his handshake. We also want our students to get a global experience. And you heard a little bit about that in that example that I just shared. But Dr. Vostaris, whom you'll meet in just a few minutes, created a program called X Culture that now every undergraduate student in the Bryan School is going to go through. And in X Culture, you'll join about, depending on the semester, 5,000 to 6,000 other students from around the world solving real business problems for real business organizations. It's an amazing project. Executives that I've shared that with have said, that's exactly the type of person that we need to hire, because our people work in virtual teams all the time. They're constantly solving problems. They need to understand how to work across time zones. They need to understand how to work across different cultures. And so that global experience has been really, really important to our students. We also offer standard study abroad programs, and we also offer specialized study abroad programs that are yoked to specific courses. But that global experience is absolutely critical. In addition to that, we talk about sustainability, and we built that into our curriculum. And it is somewhat about environmental sustainability, but the reality is that we're talking about the long-term holistic thinking and decision-making that organizations need to engage in order to sustain themselves as organizations and last decades, if not a century or more. In addition to that, ethics executives told us that we're not hiring anyone that we don't believe has sound ethical principles. So all four of those things, innovation, globalization, sustainability, and ethics, have been tightly interwoven into our curriculum. You can go to any number of business schools and they say, well, we focus on innovation, or we focus on whatever one of those there might be. Very few focus on two, even fewer focus on three. And as near as we can tell, only one, the Bryan School, focuses on all four of those in its curriculum. So you'll get that strong understanding. We also created a strong student success program, and it consists of our student advising. We have our professional advisors, and you'll meet one of those in a bit, or a couple of those in a bit. In addition to that, we have our Bryan Gold program that consists of a wide variety of professional development events to help prepare you to be job ready. And Bryan Gold itself helps you create a professional development resume that you can share with prospective employers through your LinkedIn account. In addition to that, we have the Bryan Blueprint series, where we have 4 one-credit-hour courses, four 1-credit-hour courses that offer you the opportunity to develop yourself in terms of personal knowledge and personal skills in your first year, professional development in your second year, global awareness in your third year, and leadership preparedness in your fourth year. And that is a tremendous program that is already making a difference for many of our students. The other thing that I think is really different about the Bryan School compared to many other schools, and I experienced this when I came for my job interview back in 2011, is that there's a very special bond between the students and the faculty members and the staff members in the Bryan School, and indeed at all of UNCG. The reason that was important to me was because I had been at large public universities before, public university business schools before, and I did not see that special bond. Often the faculty members couldn't be concerned with the students. I'd also been at a small private business school, and there, because of our size, we had really strong relationships between the students and the faculty members. And I saw what a difference it made, both to the students and to the faculty members, well, and to the staff members. And when I saw that here, one of the largest business schools in the state of North Carolina, I was blown away by that. That just doesn't happen at large public business schools, but it is true here in the Bryan School, and it is true here at UNC Greensboro. Rankings, and I can talk about rankings all day long. Virtually every program in the Bryan School has some great rankings behind it, and I'm really pleased with that. But a lot of other business schools have rankings too. Now, there's another slide that they're going to share with you, and it's got a few things on here. I'm not going to talk about these things except to tell you this. All of these are examples of things that we are doing to help our students succeed. Back to Business is a program at the beginning of the academic year. Company spotlights are where organizations come in and talk about their internship opportunities and their full-time hiring opportunities. And the list goes on and on and on of what we do for our students. The easiest thing in the world for us would be not to do these things. But the fact of the matter is, we are deeply committed to helping our students succeed. And these are the types of things that we're offering that very few, if any, other business schools in the United States are offering to their students. We want you to choose the Bryan School. We want you to come to UNC Greensboro. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Banks. I think that serves as an awesome introduction into the Bryan School and everything that it has to offer. We're now going to transition into sharing some student experiences as well as some highlighting of some academic programs. But if you have any questions at any time, be sure to text us. You'll see the number right at the bottom of your screen, and that is the number to text if you have any questions about anything. So whether they're talking about a specific academic program, you want some more information, or you just want to learn more about the Bryan Blueprint series that Dean Banks just talked about, anything that you want to ask, just let us know and we'll be able to answer it. But I'm now going to let Joshua introduce himself and kind of share about his own experience.
Thank you so much. Just want to first say that it's an honor to speak to everyone. I know whenever I first came into the Bryan School as a young freshman, incoming freshman, there's a lot of fears and uncertainties around college life in general, especially the Bryan School. But I hope me talking about some of the things I'm going to discuss today will clear some things up and really give you the confidence to know that the Bryan School is a quality college that's really committed to your success professionally and academically. One of the first things I'm going to talk about is really the classroom experience and the faculty-student relationships that we have here. I would say the Bryan School classroom experience is really centered around the student, making sure the student feels connected not only to the individual class, but whatever major and department that they're connected to. The classroom experience, I think at UNCG, and at least when I came here, it was 20-1. And to have for UNCG to be such a huge college, to really have those type of statistics, it's incredible. And so you really get that one-on-one experience. That one-on-one experience also ties into research opportunities, especially for me as an economics major. The research experience and the one-on-one relationship that I could have with faculty members really separated me from many of my peers. And those opportunities were presented to me. And I know as students come in, especially many in North Carolina, they're very tenacious. They want to get involved. And so the Bryan School really gives you opportunities so that if you want to get involved and you want to do more than everybody else, you have those opportunities to do so. But I think the thing that really applies to me and that I think so important is it's a professional experience that is focused on developing the next generation of scholars and leaders. As Dean Banks said, they're not just focused on creating scholars, but global citizens. And the attitude among students and staff is that we all are tenaciously committed to finding that next great breakthrough, expanding the realms of human intellect in the business world. And that really ties into how this is a prestigious university, not just to teach and how to develop yourself professionally here in North Carolina, but nationally and internationally. The next thing I want to talk about that kind of echoes to those ideas is the professional development programs here and the Blueprint series and internship opportunities. The Blueprint series is a unique experience to UNCG. I don't think any other college has a professional development program that starts freshman year and continues all 4 years while you're here. And so this just really goes into how UNCG and specifically the Bryan School were creating exceptional problem solvers, people that they're well-rounded. And I think it starts off with a personal development, going into professional development in your sophomore year. And then at the end of the year, I think it's international relationships, how you deal on a global scale. So again, creating global citizens. And these programs really push you to get outside of your comfort zone. I know me, I was kind of shy. I didn't want to really talk much my freshman year. And one of the requirements for my first professional development class in the Blueprint series was to go to the career fair held here at UNCG. And whenever I went there, I actually ended up getting my first internship. And as you can tell from the slide, that has led to many, many other internships. But that wouldn't have been possible if they wouldn't have pushed me to really get outside my comfort zone and start developing myself professionally. And lastly, but definitely not least, as you can tell from my accent, I come from a very small town. And I think a lot of students coming to UNCG can relate to that. And so there's always that issue in the back of your head of how am I going to pay for college? How am I going to pay for all the things extra besides tuition? And UNCG and the Bryan School, they do a great job really connecting students with scholarships and donors. And we're all grateful to these donors and what they do for us. The scholarship opportunities are available not only to incoming freshmen, but those already enrolled. I know for myself, I came in and I got the Blue and Gold Scholarship, but since then I've received thousands and thousands of dollars because of my academic performances and merit scholarships after I've already been here. So if you work hard and you're committed, the Bryan School will reward you with additional funding, not only for your tuition, but also research opportunities or and studying abroad stipends. So again, it's my pleasure. If you have any questions, please ask in the comment section, and I'd be happy to answer them at the end. But I'll just say it, the UNCG and the Bryan School, they're doing a lot right, and I'm very proud to be a part of this campus. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Joshua. So now we have another student on the call with us today. So we're going to hear from Samantha. So if you want to introduce yourself and share about your own experiences as well.
Hello, my name is Samantha Oliva, and I am extremely happy to be here and speak to you all today. I am a junior double major in accounting and international business, and I am also the vice president of the Bryan Student Ambassadors Program here at the Bryan School. The Bryan Student Ambassadors Program is a program composed of students like me who have the opportunity to speak at events such as this one and share with you all our student experiences, and helps to give you a more in-depth perspective of what it's like to be a Bryan School student. We attend events such like these to help prospective students feel more welcome and entering the Bryan School. The BSAs are offered many leadership opportunities and professional development opportunities as well, and we are also highly encouraged to study abroad. Unfortunately, I was able to study abroad in Toledo, Spain last spring semester, and unfortunately, it was cut short due to the pandemic. But even so, I was able to immerse myself in Spain's rich culture and create lifelong relationships with other international students and my professors from Spain as well. Not only was I able to immerse myself in Spain's rich culture, but I also was able to familiarize myself with how Spain works and how their businesses work as well over there. So if I do in the future want to go back to Spain, I will now know how to work my way around over there. I would also like to talk to you about some advice that I have being a Bryan School student. My advice for you is to step out of your comfort zone. And a great way to do that will be familiarizing yourself with student organizations. Not only student organizations offer events for you to network, but they also offer a place for you to surround yourself with students with similar interests. And I know if you're shy, just like me, it is hard to do that in classroom settings. So student organizations are a great way for you to create those networks and friendships, and hopefully expand your network as well. So once you come to the Bryan School, I do highly recommend for you to attend student organization events and hopefully expand your network. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you here in the future.
Awesome. So now that you've heard from some of our students here in the Bryan School, we're going to hear from some of our faculty members. So we have some professors within all of the academic units within our Bryan School. So we're going to start out with Dr. Elder, representing accounting and finance.
Good afternoon. I'm Randy Elder. I'm the head of the Department of Accounting and Finance. And you notice many of my colleagues have backgrounds that say they're a proud Bryan School faculty member. I am also a proud Bryan School faculty member, just having technical difficulties with the Zoom background. We offer two undergraduate degrees, the BS in Finance and the BS in Accounting. And the slide indicates that there's 3 areas in each, and those aren't tracks per se, those are where we tend to place students. So in finance, we tend to place people in corporate finance, companies such as Volvo. In investments, companies such as Lincoln Financial and Merrill Lynch Wealth Management. And banking, companies such as Wells Fargo and Truist, formerly BB&T and SunTrust. In accounting, similarly, we do a lot of placement in it says financial, it's probably better described as corporate accounting. It's a blend of financial and managerial accounting. And same sort of companies that would tend to hire people in finance would hire people in accounting, companies such as Volvo, Contour, Haynes Brands. And the areas are blending more and more, positions such as financial analysts, data analysts, looking for people who with both accounting and finance backgrounds. The next 2 areas, auditing and tax, are
more public accounting background, although we do have several students who obtain positions in internal auditing with corporate firms. It is common for students to double major in accounting and finance. If you're an accounting major, you can double major in finance with 3 extra courses. It's a little more complicated if you start off with a finance major and want to add the accounting major. The accounting major has a lot more requirements, and that's tied to certification for CPA, which many students pursuing accounting wish to obtain. We do have an MS accounting degree available to meet the 150-hour requirement to become a CPA. And for students who are qualified that meet the grade point requirements, we have an accelerated BSMS degree where you can count 3 of your undergraduate courses to your master's degree. Accounting, the highlights of the programs, there's nothing that you haven't heard from the speaker, from Dean Banks and from Joshua and Samantha. Our faculty are outstanding teachers. I'm proud that over the last couple of years, several of our faculty have won Bryan School Teaching Awards. They're all outstanding faculty members. They do care about students. I see faculty members meeting with students all the time. Of course, that was pre-COVID. And I myself, always happy to meet with a student. They show up at my door, my assistant asks, do I have time? And the answer is yes, I always have time to meet with a student. Well, there was one exception, but I'm not going to describe that one. Happy to meet with you should you come to UNCG and you want to learn more about finance or accounting. Both majors have excellent employment and internship opportunities, and we have several events designed to allow students to meet with prospective employers. Student groups, Samantha was involved in both of them, Beta Alpha Psi, an accounting and financial information professional society. It holds weekly meetings, great opportunities to network and meet with employers, and it also sponsors an event to meet future employers. And then the Spartan Investment Club, which has regular meetings with firms in the financial area, presents you great opportunities to learn about opportunities in finance. So if you come into accounting or finance, I can guarantee you that you'll get a great education and lots of the opportunities that Samantha and Joshua just described.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Elder, for that awesome overview of the Accounting and Finance Department. We're going to transition now to learning more about Consumer Apparel and Retail Studies. This is actually the program that I graduated from. So we're going to hear from Dr. Hodges to share a little bit more about cars.
Great, thank you so much, Corin. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here to share with you some of the highlights of the Consumer Apparel and Retail Studies program known as CARS. I'm Nancy Hodges. I'm the head of the Department of CARS. You may think that CARS is the automotive program on campus. It kind of sounds like it might be, but actually it's the fashion program here at UNCG. We offer a Bachelor of Science degree, and students in the CARS major choose one of 2 concentrations. On the design side, we have apparel product design, where you're making garments, learning how to create things, create apparel, and then the retail and consumer studies concentration, which is at the other end of the value chain. So learning about retail strategy, learning what consumers want, what they're looking for, what they need in the marketplace. So our courses, as we like to say, cover the entire apparel value chain. So from concept to consumer. And everybody in the CARS major, even though they're in one of 2 concentrations, they do take a number of core courses that teach or help them learn about what it is that makes apparel such a unique product. I mean, we all know what it is because we all have to buy it and wear it and use it. But there are very particular things about it as a product that if you want to work in the fashion industry, very important to know. So our courses start from things as simple as fibers and fabrics, going all the way to global retail strategy and production management and those kinds of courses. Now, for all students in the major, we do require an internship. We have a very, very long-standing internship program And, you know, to put this in perspective, the CARS program celebrated 100 years as an academic major in 2017, or as an academic department, I should say. And so we've had this internship program for at least 30 years now. So we have hundreds and hundreds of relationships that we've established with companies because it is a requirement. So everybody graduating with the CARS degree has to do a 300-hour required internship at an approved location. Students can go anywhere they want. They can do their internship in New York. That's a big destination for our students. They can go to the West Coast, to LA. They can do local internships. They can do global internships. It's really wherever you want to go, and whatever it is that you want to learn, you can use the internship for that. Now, why a CARS degree from UNCG? We offer a lot of professional development opportunities. We do lots of trips to local companies, pre-COVID, of course, but we will go back to that as soon as we can. Real world projects and classes, exactly what Dean Banks was talking about at the beginning of the session. Access to the latest technology. We are on the cutting edge of what we teach our students. The apparel industry is very much technology driven. And so we want our students, when they graduate, to be familiar with what companies are using to produce and sell and distribute apparel globally. So we integrate all of that in our courses. We do study tours. In fact, we had one planned to go to China last May, which obviously had to be postponed. We go to New York for the National Retail Federation big show. They have an awesome student program there designed for students in CARS related programs to network and meet with industry leaders. We also do industry focused events. We have our signature event, which is the annual CARS Industry Summit. And we do that every year. We also have a student organization that's specific to CARS, although it's open to all UNCG students, and it's called Threads. Samantha mentioned how important being a part of a student group is, and I think Corin, you could probably even speak to your experiences with this particular organization, Threads, which is the organization on campus that puts on fashion shows. They have a retail case competition. It began in the CARS program, but now it is open to any student at the university who's interested in any of the many facets of the fashion industry. So you put all of this together, and you know the basic take home here is that CARS prepares you to succeed in the global fashion industry. We've got a lot of cool equipment, a lot of cool technology. We love our space. We love showing it off. And so we do have, normally before COVID, we did in-person tours of our department, but we do now have a pre-recorded tour on our website, cars.uncg.edu, which you can go to and watch, or you can also schedule a virtual tour. We are more than happy to connect through Zoom and walk you around our space and answer your questions as we go. So there's a form that you can fill out to schedule a virtual tour on that webpage as well. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hodges. I definitely, obviously, am a really big fan of the CARS department. I think it's really cool that our fashion program here at UNCG is a part of the business school, so you have a really nice holistic education of everything in the business world in addition to the fashion world, so it really sets our students up for success. So next we're going to hear from Mrs. Peters, representing economics here in the Bryan School.
Hi, my name is Ashley Peters. I am actually the administrative assistant here in the economics department at the Bryan School. So when I say economics, the first thing that most people usually think of is the stock market, you know, the economy. And that's definitely a part of it. But economics as a whole, more broadly, is the science of decision making. It's the study of how people allocate their limited resources to fulfill their unlimited desires. And this branches into many different areas of research, including some of our faculty areas of expertise like drug addiction, clean energy, entrepreneurship, education, and healthcare, just to name a few. If there's a field for it, then there's probably an economist who studies it. So where do economists typically work? There are many different career path opportunities for an economist, beyond these even on the slide. But economists work at places like banks doing credit scoring, credit analyzing, things of that nature. Fortune 500s, helping them predict interest rates and shifting trends and forecasting. And for the more research inclined, there are think tanks or research policy centers. We place many students with research centers, particularly our master's students. And here you'll find jobs as a research economist or an economic analyst, things of that nature. So moving on to our programs, we have 2 economics degrees here at the Bryan School. We have the Bachelor of Arts, which is more of your social sciences degree, and it has more flexibility built into it, which makes it very easy to double major or minor outside of the Bryan School. Then we also have the Bachelor of Science, which is more of your business focused economics degree. So this degree has more structure and makes it very easy to double major inside of the Bryan School. And that's economics.
Okay, thank you so much. So next we're going to transition to Dr. Gargaya. I'm going to let him break down the full abbreviation of his program and share a little bit more.
Thank you very much, Corinne. This is Vidya Gargaya. I'm a professor in Information Systems and Supply Chain Management Department. This is my 28th year and counting. About more than 3,000 undergraduate students and certainly close to about 2,000 graduate students have been involved with my learning activities, or they have been my students over the years. And it has been a distinct joy and pleasure to have been involved with the students. In the department, we primarily have 4 concentrations: information systems, supply chain management, cybersecurity, and business analytics. So in the department, the big major is information systems, which focuses on what connects all the functional areas of a business using information. So that's what the study is all about, whether it is with programming or whether with databases or systems analyses. Those are the areas of study under information systems. In supply chain management, you can look at a pen in your hand, and where does it come from? Of course, somebody says, oh, it comes from Office Depot or Walmart or what have you. Not really. It actually comes from oil and petroleum. And that is my undergraduate degree, which is in chemical engineering. So a long time ago, from chemical engineering, which is from petroleum, this product of the pen is made. And supply chain management deals with the manufacturing, production, distribution of the products across the supply chain. Cybersecurity deals with cryptocurrency, blockchains, hacking, ethical hacking. We focus more on that. And that'll be the study in cybersecurity. In business analytics, the focus is more on data and analytical tools that will help in the decision making. We have courses and programs at the undergraduate, graduate level, and also we also offer post-bachelor certificates in these areas. And the expert areas are certainly in programming, SAS, or SAP, which are all the software tools, and cybersecurity. April, go on to the next slide so that I can quickly inform everybody where the big job opportunities are, the big bucks are for the students who graduate from these programs, whether it's in web development with Wells Fargo, IBM, Volvo Trucks, etc., to application programming, to systems analysis and design, to database analyses, data scientists, systems analysts and programmers, logistic consultants. And you can see the list of companies goes on and on and on, to VF Corporation, to Unilever, Replacements Limited. Incidentally, many of these companies I have been involved with, both with my research, consulting, as well as teaching activities with my students. So all in all, you will find it a very productive and rewarding experience here in information systems and supply chain management. Thank you, Corinne.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Gargaya. We're going to now learn more about management, and we also mentioned a little bit about the X Culture Project, and I think we'll share a little bit more about that. But Dr. Taras, it's all on you.
So Department of Management, we offer two big majors essentially, so business administration and international business. Within business administration, you will have several different concentrations. First, business studies. This is probably the most universal major on campus, or at least within business. And so here you're not restricted by a specific course of studies. You have a lot of freedom as to what kind of courses you take, and you can essentially tailor your degree to a specific job or industry that you have in mind. Very flexible, very versatile, allows you to essentially be the master of your own degree. Human resources makes you a human resource manager. So you will be taught how to do things from recruiting and selecting employees to compensation, labor relations, appraisal, performance appraisal. So basically everything from how to hire people to how to manage them and to how to maybe even fire them sometimes. So, and then finally, general management concentration. Essentially, this focuses more on leadership and general management. So basically being a manager, being a leader in an organization. So what I like about business administration is that it gives you sort of a universal appeal. So just about any company or any organization, regardless of the industry, of the size, needs managers. And so if you major in business administration, almost any of these concentrations, in theory, you would be employable at just about any organization. So your field of where you can apply will be extremely broad. And that obviously gives you a lot of advantages as you will be looking for jobs. Now, the next one on the next slide is international business major. And so that's the one that I have a particular affinity to. So I'm teaching in international business, teaching international business courses. This one is very interesting. So there was a time, perhaps 20, 30, 40 years ago, when some companies could choose to sort of be international and others chose to be domestic. Today, it's no longer the case. Today, just about any company has to do business internationally, be it through perhaps maybe having international partners or maybe international suppliers or international employees or international customers. And so what we see is that international business is probably the fastest growing sort of field within business disciplines. And we see also a lot of demand for people who can lead organizations or manage people in international settings. As I said, the demand for these kinds of people, for these kinds of managers is not limited to multinational corporations anymore. You can be working for a domestic company, but just because they do have, as I said, international suppliers, customers, employees, partners, you probably will find a niche where your international business major and special skills that you acquire as you're getting that major will be in demand. And so what I specifically like about this major is that it gives you sort of all of the skills and capabilities of general manager management, but with this additional layer of skills and competencies related to international business. So you have that specialization. And so when you will be on the job market and if the company needs someone who can manage processes, companies, people in international contexts, you will have that advantage. You will have that specialization that will make you more attractive. And in both majors, we have a lot of hands-on projects. I'll just say a couple of words about the one that I lead for the international business. Well, it's an international business project, but all business students go through it. X-Culture, so as Dean Banks said, this semester we have 6,500 people from 187 universities in 83 countries by the locations of the students. Some students take their courses overseas. So it's a very, very diverse group. And so sort of the main two features of this project is that one, you will complete a real consulting project for a real business. You will meet with the company founders, CEOs face-to-face as a real consultant. And this semester, for example, we have 15 companies to choose from. Different industries, different countries, very, very wide choice. But more importantly, even, you will complete that project with people from all around the world working in so-called global virtual teams. So there will be usually 7 people in your team, each one in a different country on a different continent. So you will be learning and experiencing challenges, but also hopefully learning the best practices of working with people from other cultures, different time zones, different institutional backgrounds. All of that will give you that additional experience that will be so much valuable when you will be applying for jobs. And we've heard so many stories. Literally, I have probably over 1,000 emails now saved in my archive where students tell me the story that they went to a job interview. There were 20 other people sitting and waiting for the job interview. And so they had a very low chance, kind of probabilistically speaking. But then during the interview, they mentioned ex-culture experience, showed their ex-culture certificate and recommendation letter. The interviewer sort of woke up and like, really, you completed a project for a real company with people from all around the world. Tell me more. And before they knew, they got the job because they had that unique capability and experience that nobody else did. So welcome to the Department of Management. Hopefully we will be welcoming some of you in the fall.
Okay, thank you so much. I know study abroad and international experiences is something that we've gotten a lot of questions about, so I'll definitely be sending some of those your way in just a few minutes. But we're going to hear now from Dr. Yang representing a handful of majors, so I'm going to let him talk a little bit more about that now.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ziyong Yang. I'm the head of the Department of Marketing, Entrepreneurship, Hospitality, and Tourism. So over the years, my department has mainly concentrated on creating a synergy among our faculty, students, and the community, mainly through hands-on consulting projects, which indicated by Dean Banks. We have 21 full-time faculty members. Many of them have rich industry experience. They bridge the world of practice by engaging organizations through hands-on student projects in our courses. In this year alone, our department actually has had 115 projects for local companies. Because of hands-on learning, our students are doing well in the job market, as shown in the slide. Over 83% of our students got a job before graduation. My department has 3 programs. The first is marketing. As shown in the slide, marketing has 3 concentrations. The first is the strategic marketing concentration. Example of positions include business consultant and marketing management. The second is social media marketing concentration. Example of positions include social media specialist and a digital marketing analyst. The third concentration is professional selling. Example of positions include key account management and a sales analyst. The second program is entrepreneurship. Our entrepreneurship program has won 8 international and national awards. It offers both online and face-to-face teaching. Example of positions include a business owner, social entrepreneur, and a business analyst. The third program is hospitality and tourism. Our faculty has got continuous support from the North Carolina wine and grape industry. Example of positions include revenue management, hotel management, and corporate travel management. So my department provides a great platform for our students to interact with potential employers through student organizations. As shown here, we have American Marketing Association, Sales Institute, the CEO Club, and the STH Club. There are lots of more good things I want to share with you guys about my department. However, due to the time and interest of time, I have to stop here. I hope to see you around in the future and work with you toward a major in marketing, entrepreneurship, or hospitality and tourism. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Yang. And our last panelist that we have here today is representing our undergraduate student services. So the place you go if you have any questions about advising or registering for courses or basically anything about the Bryan School. So I'll let Gail Pack talk a little bit more about student support services within the Bryan School.
Thank you, and welcome to everyone. My name is Gail Pack, and I'm the director for the Bryan Undergraduate Student Services Office. Myself, along with 8 other professional advisors, will meet with you from day one. We work with students from orientation all the way to graduation. So you will work with your advisor each semester on planning your courses, making sure that registration goes well for you, but also working with your advisor on other things. We are definitely focused on getting our students prepared for their launch after graduation. So we often talk with students about the career aspect, start planning for those internship opportunities very early in your academic career. We often speak with students about global experiences. And I know given the pandemic, there's always questions right now about our global experiences, but we do work with our students individually, and we are working with them right now individually on making those plans for themselves where we can. So I just want to welcome everybody. I know we've got some questions from folks, so I just want to turn it back over to Corin.
All right, thank you so much. So yeah, we have just about 10 minutes left with you all today. We do have a couple questions in from viewers, so if you have any last minute questions, be sure to send them to the number on the bottom of the screen. But our first question I'm going to send to either Samantha or Dr. Taras, just considering what it's about. So one of our viewers, Andrew, is really interested in applying to the Bryan School and wanted to know more about study abroad opportunities for Bryan School students. Do you have any programs or countries that many Bryan School students go to?
I don't know, Samantha, would you like me to go with that, or?
You can go.
So, well, the Bryan School offers many international opportunities for international business majors, for example. In fact, it is a requirement to spend a semester of study abroad overseas. And we do have a bunch of partner universities around the world where you can go. I've heard very, very positive feedback from the students who have done it. But there are a few other options that perhaps are less demanding, compared to going for the whole semester or a year. So I already talked about Xculture, the Xculture project, where you sort of get a whole semester of exposure to literally dozens of different countries without the need to travel. Although as a follow-up of that virtual experience, we do twice a year bring the best students for a face-to-face meeting for what we call the Xculture Business Week Symposium, where for 1 week we go to a different country. The last one we did in Canada. Before that it was in Italy. This year it was supposed to be in Singapore, and we had to reschedule it until the next year with the COVID-19. But we go for that one intensive week to a different country where we visit local companies, meet with the local politicians, community leaders, businesses, company visits, all of that. Now, there are also similar courses at the Bryan School where, again, students would be going overseas for 1 week. But again, the project kind of extends across the entire semester because there is some preparation, then the trip itself, then there is post-project reflections and writing a paper. So there is a whole wide range of options that you can take as you're trying to gain that international experience, from sort of all virtual, low engagement. Well, it's not low engagement, but it will not interfere too much with your sort of job, for example, or life wherever you are, all the way to actually packing your bags and going to a different country for an extended period of time, full immersion for the whole semester or even a year. And I'm not sure if I missed anything. Probably people can add a little bit more information, but that's sort of a brief overview.
Yeah, thank you. That was a good summary for me. Yeah, Dr. Gargaya, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I want to add something on the international business and the study abroad program. Faculty like me who may not explicitly teach international business courses, but we are called upon to actually interview students who go for the study abroad programs. And some of the popular destinations are not only in Europe, like Scotland and Spain and Italy, but also the popular destinations include China and Thailand and India, and also Australia and New Zealand. And what we do is to educate the students through this process of what they can be expecting in their international study. So I think it's an excellent program, and it's been successful for more than, I would say, 4 decades.
If I may one more thing that is interesting about UNCG that I haven't seen at other schools. So just like many other universities, we do have a lot of international students, obviously, but there is one interesting, unique feature. In my experience at other schools where I either studied or have been invited to teach lectures, I noticed that they tend to have a large, big sort of majorities of international students. Usually it would be, for example, a lot of students from China or a lot of students from India or sometimes from the Middle East, depending on the school's kind of focus and history. At UNCG, we tend to have a much wider variety. So for example, when I teach my courses, sometimes let's say I would have about 50 students in the class. Of those, there will be 15, 20, maybe even up to 30 international. And I would hardly ever have more than 2 students from the same country. So we would have students from all over Europe, then all over Latin America. But then I've had students from like New Zealand, Saudi Arabia, Sierra Leone, Congo. I mean, from exotic countries that sometimes, I will be honest, I don't even know where they are on the map. And so at least when I teach international business, that makes it kind of more interesting to teach it, because you would have this wide variety of nationalities represented in the classroom. So the discussions become more interesting. But I think for the students, it is also a nice educational kind of element, because as I said, you will not only be exposed to international students per se, but they will come literally from dozens of countries, depending on how big the course is. And as I said, I haven't seen that quite the same variety at other universities. And surprisingly, in North Carolina, we are not New York or Miami. And yet we have that breadth of different nationalities represented in our classrooms.
Thank y'all so much. Kind of a follow-up question to that. Just briefly, we have another student, Ashley, who's interested in majoring in economics and wants to know any countries or any programs, and specifically that econ students go to. So Ashley, do you have any that kind of come to mind?
Yeah, so usually our Eco 300 class, which is our international economy class, goes over to Ireland for a week or two. I can't remember off the top of my head, but usually they go to Ireland. Obviously, last year and this year, that's just not going to be feasible, but typically we do an Ireland trip. And there's always study abroad options.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Just a general point of study abroad. I was able to study abroad while I was at UNCG. It's a really great opportunity. As long as you plan it ahead, you can go to any program that you're interested in. So meet with your professors, meet with your advisor, and just plan out your program, and you can go to any country, any university that you're wanting to. I do have a question. I'll probably send to Gail. It says, I know that there's some Bryan School pre-admission courses. Does that mean I have to have certain courses in high school to get accepted as a Bryan School student, or how does that work?
So if a student is admittable to the university, they are admittable to the Bryan School. What we do with our students, with the exception of our CARS program and our Bachelor of Arts in Economics, is that the students are then labeled a whatever major. And then within the first 2 years of coming to UNCG, you work with your advisor, and we work with you to get you through the prerequisite courses that will then unlock your upper level classes. So as long as you're checking off those classes when you're here at UNCG, you will then finally get fully admitted to your major going into your junior year, and you'll be able to finish your program in time. I don't think that there's any classes that I would recommend that you have to take in high school. If you are in a program where you're going to receive some sort of college credit, it is definitely a great idea to reach out to our admissions office, or you can reach out to my team via email or call our office. And we're happy to speak with you to make sure that the classes that you're taking in high school and receiving that college credit for is actually going to transfer to UNCG and do what it is you're hoping that it will accomplish.
Okay, thank you so much. I have a question for Dean Banks. It says, we know that one of UNCG's selling points is that we're located right here in the city of Greensboro. Could you help our prospective students maybe understand why Greensboro is a great place to study business, and maybe a handful of opportunities that we have uniquely here in Greensboro?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I don't think anyone's ever asked that question before. But we have an extremely strong relationship with a number of organizations that are headquartered here or that have significant operations here in Greensboro. So Volvo Trucks and also their subsidiary Mack Trucks is headquartered here in Greensboro. And we have a very strong internship relationship with them. We also have Old Dominion Trucking and their logistics arm particularly, as well as several other logistics companies, XPO Logistics and so on, that are in the area. So if you're interested in that, we have extremely strong relationships into companies that are involved in the cybersecurity space. And we have strong relationships into apparel companies such as Contour Brands, which is headquartered here. And in fact, the global brand president for Wrangler Jeans, or Wrangler, is on our board of advisors for the Bryan School. So we have that relationship. Arch Mortgage Insurance, we have located here, and that's one of their most significant operations for Arch, even though for Arch, even though it's headquartered in Michigan. So there are a number of others. Truist, you might know that BB&T was headquartered in this area. Truist is going to be headquartered in Charlotte, but we still have an extremely strong relationship with them. People on various boards of advisors in the Bryan School with them, and the list goes on and on. We've got relationships with large accounting firms, large firms in the marketing consultancy area, and so on. So I think that's one of the reasons why you do it. We have specialties in those areas, and we have the relationships with the organizations.
Okay, thank you so much. So we have a few questions left, and we're just about at time, so we're going to kind of do a little lightning round. So we have a couple students who are interested in marketing, and they want to know if they're able to have multiple concentrations within marketing.
So for concentration, we only choose one of them. If you wanted to have more general, which is a strategic marketing concentration. A major reason for that is if you have focus on two concentrations, you need to take, the courses are different, slightly different, the required courses. You need to take a little bit longer time. And also it's degree-wise, we have different concentrations, but the degree is marketing. So we only have one major because of that.
Okay, thank you so much. Then we have a question about double majoring. So probably Gail, this would be a good person to answer this question. Is it possible to double in multiple Bryan School majors?
Absolutely. As long as you start planning early to double major, it's pretty easy to do that. Now, if you decide that you're going to get a BA in a program outside the business school and you want a BS within the business school, those are called simultaneous degrees because you'll actually earn two diplomas, 2 degrees, and that takes a little bit longer and more planning. So the best piece of advice I can give anyone that's looking at doing this is to start planning from day one.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm sure Dr. Elder can attest. I know a lot of students double major in both accounting and finance, and I'm sure he has a lot of students who do that. So that is a popular combo, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Awesome. So I have one final question that I'm going to have all of our panelists answer, and we have just about 3 minutes left. So just a super quick highlight, but if everybody could probably leave us with one piece of advice that you have for our future Bryan School students. So if you can give them one quick piece of advice, what would you tell them? And we'll start from Dean Banks.
I would echo what Gail said, which is get in touch with your advisor, work with your advisor closely as quickly as possible and as thoroughly as possible, because they are going to help keep you on track.
Awesome. Joshua?
I would say really get involved and try to give to the Bryan School. I know in high school, my principal always told me, leave it better than you found it. Try to make that your goal here when you come here. Leave the Bryan School better than you found it. And in 50 years, people are going to look back and say, wow, that's a Bryan School student and that you contributed to that. So get involved and make a difference.
That is really great. Thank you. Samantha?
Let's say for you to step out of your comfort zone because there's many opportunities available. It all just depends on you taking that step and achieving that.
Thank you so much. Dr. Gargea?
Stay focused and be prepared to make mistakes. They are okay because you have the spirit of the Spartan guided by the mind of Minerva.
Wow. Branded and everything. I love it. We have Ms. Peters next.
Really learn about the resources available to you and don't be afraid to utilize them. UNCG has so many great resources available to its students. Make sure you take advantage of them.
Yes, that would be my piece of advice as well if I was going to share any. We have Dr. Hodges.
Well, my advice would be to take advantage of your professors and seek them out. Don't be afraid to have a meeting with them, sit down, ask them their advice for, you know, what do I need to be doing to make sure I'm as competitive as I can be in the job market when I leave UNCG. That's what faculty are here for. They want to talk to students.
I couldn't agree more. Dr. Elder.
Well, Corin, accounting starts with A, which means we're supposed to go first. People have said so many good things, but I would say network, especially getting to meet employers. When you go into an interview and they're meeting you for the first time, you're way behind everyone else. Network, get to meet potential employers.
Very true. Dr. Taras?
I'll say this, that a dollar for dollar UNCG and a Bryan degree may be probably one of the best in the world. I mean, we may not be Harvard or Stanford, but we provide literally world-class education at a fraction of the cost. So you will not be left with a ton of debt, and you will get a degree that will open a lot of doors for you. So consider UNCG as your next destination.
Very true. Thank you so much. Dr. Yang? Oh, you're muted, Dr. Yang.
So join the student organizations to run for the officer positions. And these are the positions which give you the platform to connect with the industry, to invite guest speakers to become your future employers.
Awesome. And our very last one, we have Gail.
So I would say plan and prepare, and that goes from day one all the way to the last day that you're here at UNCG before you graduate. Start planning early, plan your classes, plan your experiences, be it in the classroom, outside the classroom, work experiences, because ultimately at the end, the plan is that you're going to be employable and we're going to help you along the way. So plan and prepare.
Okay. Thank you so much. So you can see some last minute information up here on the screen. Thank you so much to all of our panelists for joining us today to learn even more about our awesome programs and also our awesome professors within the Bryan School. If you like what you learned and want to learn even more and to see some sample courses even, I highly encourage you to create one of our custom view books. It allows you to tailor a completely individualized UNCG experience in terms of courses, in classes, and student organizations, just based off your interest. And if you want to do that, just scroll all the way down to the bottom of our open house page and you can find the link there. We're also now offering, yay, in-person campus tours. So if you want to see our beautiful campus, make sure to sign up on our website. Tune back in today at 4:30 to learn about exploratory studies in our Students First office. And I want to say thank you one more time to all of our awesome panelists for sharing more about the Bryan School. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and we hope to see you here on campus soon.
Thank you.
Bye.